my name is Esther, and this is my first Finnish parade, so welcome. For the first time I'm going to do this in 2 languages. I'm going to make the English version, which I'm doing right now, and then I'm going to try to do a German version. So I'm a bit, what do you call it? Yeah, I don't know how that's going to go, but I'll see. So I'm going to show you all my finishes of 2021, and if I'm not mistaken, if I haven't miscounted, I have 32 projects to show you. Some of them I will show you a photo of, because when they have been framed, they very often tend to get a lot of reflection. So, okay, let's get started. On the 5th of January 2021, I finished House of Christmas by Galliana CrossStitch, and I put it in a hanger, an old one, a very old one actually. It used to hold another embroidery. I'm very pleased with it, and most of you have probably seen it if you saw my last video, because I had it on the wall where the cat is now during most of December. And this is on 18 count Ada called Oatmeal, and it's in variegated floss, and it's DMC 4519. And I'm very pleased with it. On the 9th of January, I finished this spring pins from CrossStitcher magazine. And this is a field of hyacinths, and it's on 16 count Ada easy guide. Yeah. On the 21st of January, I finished this, I call it a quilt pattern. It's my own design. It's on 14 count Ada, Turkish Ada, and there might be some cat hairs because this is Scipio's favorite pillow. So I made quite a lot of these quilt patterns because it's a very good way to use whatever leftover threads you got. So, but the other ones I gave to my mother. And on the 23rd of January, I finished another one of these spring pins. This one this is upside down. This one I call Window. They don't have names. And that's also from the CrossStitcher magazine of March 2020, and it's on 16 count easy count Ada. And I really like the colors of this. Yeah. On the 28th of January, I finished Bunnies. This is actually on 11 count Ada, hand-dyed by me, and I actually stitched 4/1 because it was 11 count and I wanted the coverage to be good. And I made it into a little pillow, which I have done with a lot of my finishes. This was a free pattern from SodaStitch. I have seen there are a lot of different versions of this pattern, but I think SodaStitch had this pattern for free for a week or two. You can still get it, but I think you have to pay for it now in the Etsy shop. So, but I like it a lot. And we move on. On the 17th of February, I finished this La Felicità e nelle cose che ami. The beauty is among the things you love, or something like that. It's from Rosella Country. It's on 16 count Ada, hand dyed by me, and I turned it into a little garden pillow because I love my garden. I love to garden, and I had this garden fabric. Yep. On the 7th of March, I had come across these free spring patterns by WhilstIrisnaps, and this was the first one I made. It's called Welcome Spring. It's I used the Miso cedar silk called Mojito, and it's on 32 count Lugana Murano light blue. So this is one of the first things I did on even weave. I have stitched an even weave before, but I still prefer Ada. So a cute little one. On March 14, I finished yet another one of these spring pins. This one I call Lemon, or Lemons, and still from CrossStitcher magazine from March 2020, and on 16 count Easy Guide Ada. Not much more to say about that one. On March 21, another one of WhilstIrisnaps freebies. This one is the Bunnies, and it's on 18 count Easy Guide. Yeah, you cannot see that anymore, but anyway, it's an 18 count Ada. Yeah, and they're so cute, and I like them a lot. And I didn't use the same colors. I just grabbed some of my leftover threads, I think. On the 22nd of March, another of the freebies. This one is the carrots. Again, leftover threads. And it's on 18 count antique white Ada. And some springy fabric. On the 23rd of March, I finished a little freebie from Shannon DanishStitcherDesign. It's called Cotton, and it's so cute. And not a lot of backstitching, but the backstitching does make the rabbit pop a bit. If I were to do it again, I would probably use some darker fabric to make the colors pop extra. But this was a little piece of fabric that I had left as a leftover, so I decided to use that one. Yeah. On the 25th of March, I finished the last one of the freebies from WhilstIrisnaps. This one is called Happy Easter. And I think I actually used the call for colors here. And it's on 16 count, sorry, it's on 32 count Lugana Murano light blue. Yeah, again, my crocus fabric on the back side. Yeah. On the 27th of March, I finished this little Easter egg. It's my own design. It's on 18 count Ada called Nuage or something similar. I'm not very good at French. And I just made a pink backside. And I tried to shape it like an egg, but oh well. So this is how you say Easter in different languages. So yeah. Now a bigger project after all these quick projects. On the 1st of April, I finished the Hello Petal from Caterpillar CrossStitch. And this is a fully finished object. And these hangers, they are quite typical for Denmark. How to finish your embroideries or your cross-stitching. I also have finished the Hello Dear, and it also has, I'll put up a picture so you can see. It also has these hangers but in a different color, and the other two I'm going to give hangers like this as well, but again in different colors. So, I really love this one. It's on 16 count Ada, hand dyed by me. I love this blue color. It really makes the colors pop, I think. So. On the 9th of April, and now I'm going to show you a photo. On the 9th of April, I finished my second go at the Breath of Spring by Elena Chuguevskaya. Sorry for my Russian pronunciation. Russian is not one of the languages I master. I had started it in 2020, and then when I picked it up again here in 21, I discovered I made a huge counting mistake. I think I missed 1 or 2 lines of cross stitch, so I had to pick out a lot. I had to frog a lot, and I just decided, no, I'm just going to start all over. And by that time I also had Pattern Keeper, and it fitted into Pattern Keeper, so I decided to start all over. And this one is made on 18 count Ada called Rustico, and I'm so pleased with the result. The back stitching was awful to do, but the end result, it was all worth it. On April 10th, I finished this one. Bad excuses don't make anyone happy. And it's one of my own designs. And I made this because this was around the time that while doing Flosstube that I noticed that, not that I noticed, but I had started doing this part of my Flosstube called Curator's Corner, because I always mostly have a lot of haul, and I had started to giving myself excuses, one excuse more bad than the other, of why I bought stuff for this all-consuming hobby of mine. And actually I got a little annoyed with myself and decided no. And I think actually that was why I started doing the Curator's Corner. Because why should I feel sorry for spending money on my hobby when this hobby brings me so much joy? And when I do have the money to buy this, I mean, we are staying at home. We are not going anywhere. I mean, it's not that we are in lockdown, but the last almost 2 years now, we have just changed our lives a lot, and we are staying a lot at home. So usually I spend money, we like to go out to eat, and we hardly have been that for the last 2 years, and so we save a lot of money. And well, why not buy stuff that makes me happy? And well, and that's why I made this pattern, because I got tired of listening to myself. And it's on, let me see, it's on 25 count antique white Lugana, and I used the DMC 3837, and I finished it like this with this fabric that fitted. So On the 18th of April, I finished the last one of these spring pins. This one I call Waves. And it's still on 16 count easy guide Ada. On May the 1st, I finished this one called Lemon Tree by Antique Stitch, and I love it. It's so vibrant. It's so beautiful. And I also have the pattern for the orange tree. I did start it, but not a very big start. I'm going to frame them eventually when I'm done with the orange tree as well, and put it up in the bathroom, where I have kind of an Italian theme. It's so beautiful, and I think you can still find the pattern on Etsy. Well, in May I started my Stitch Mania, where I wanted to start a Halloween project, a new Halloween project almost every day. Almost every day. That plan went down the drain later on in the month because I started stitching on Spike, but that's a whole different story. Anyway, on May the 6th, I finished this Witching Halloween. It's from Just CrossStitch magazine, Halloween 2020. It's on 25 count Lugana mushroom, and the color is Gast, called Black Licorice. And the fabric is also Halloweenish. And I really like the way it turned out. On May the 8th, I finished this one, October 31st. It's also from the Just CrossStitch magazine, the Halloween issue from 2020. And I'm sorry about if you can hear a cat meowing right now. It's on 14 count light blue Ada. 14 count light blue Ada. And it's within silks from XU Design, and the silk is called Redwood. Yeah. And 2 beads as eyes on the spider. On May the 15th, I finished another one, the Halloween Castle. Again from the Just CrossStitch magazine, Halloween 2020. And this is on 14 count Ada, hand-dyed by me. And all the white is in glowing in the dark thread. And again, the back side is the same spider web, cobweb fabric as the other two ones. Yeah. Oh well, and as I said before, in the middle of my Stitch Mania, I all of a sudden got this Spike obsession, I think you could call it. I had rewatched Buffy, the Vampire Slayer. Again, we were in lockdown, and what else to do? So the spring of 21, I had spent watching all 144 episodes of Buffy, and all the 100 and something episodes of Angel. And yeah, James Masters, who plays Spike, is my favorite actor. So all of a sudden I felt, hey, I'm going to stitch something that has to do with Spike. And the first thing I finished was this one. It's a logo of Spike. And it's on 16 count gray Ada, and I used Miss Usita Silks number 20. And I used some little red beads. And the fabric is Buffy fabric, which I found on Spoonflower. And Spoonflower is an American company, but they also have a branch in Berlin. That means if you order from them, it will be shipped to you from Berlin, and you do not have to pay any customs. Yay! I like that. So this was the first of my 4 spike projects that I finished in 2021. The day after, on June the 6th, I finished my first spike portrait, and I'm going to insert a brief video of it here. It's on a 16 count Ada rustic whiteboard, and I made the pattern in on pictopad.com, and I chose the sepia version of it, and I was very pleased with the result. And I had just finished one spike portrait, and I still had this stitch mania going on, but I only stitched a couple of stitches on each project in stitch mania, and then I turned back to my second spike project, and on July 11th it was finished. I had a finish, and again I'll insert a short video. And this time I did an 18 count easy count Ada, and again I used Pictopad to make the pattern, and I'm very pleased with the result as well. So up till now, you can hear from the dates that I very often had a finish after a couple of weeks, or sometimes just the day after. That changed because when we came to August, I had a lot of problems with my ears, and you might know that if you have watched my Flosstube. I'm not going to talk about that now. But that meant I had a break. I lost my stitching book for about 2 or 3 months, and nothing happened. And I didn't make any Flosstube videos either, because why should I make a Flosstube videos when I had nothing to show? But then I had my surgery on October the 5th, and after the first couple of days where I was really not feeling well, I found my stitching book, or my stitching book returned, and so did my FFOs. On the 21st of October, I finished Poison Jack by Olaf and Stitch. This is on 14 count Ada, hand dyed by me, and I think the thread is called Trick or Treat. It's Weeks Dye Works. I'm not all that pleased with it, because I don't think the colors pop enough. I should probably have used a darker fabric, but I'm not going to do it again. So I think I'm going to turn it into a little pillow, because I think most of my Halloween stuff I will turn into pillows, because it's seasonal and pillows are easier to put away when they're out of season. So, and now I had my stitching book back, and I stitched and I stitched and I stitched and I stitched. And 4 days later, on the 25th of October, I finished Casa Stragata, the House of the Witch. That's also from Olaf and Stitch. This one is an 18 count Ada, Rustico Oatmeal. It only has 4 colors, and they are so vibrant, and the coverage is good, and I love this one. And I know I just said that most Halloween projects I would probably make pillows out of. I'm pretty sure I'm going to frame this one, because I really love the colors, and I want to put it up on the wall where it's easier to see. Yeah. On the 28th of October, I finished the first one out of 3. I mean, the other 2, I haven't finished them yet. But this one is from Waxing Moon Design. I call it Creepy House. It's a series of 3 houses. And as you can see, I have started the other two. This is on 16 count Ada, hand dyed by me. And I used Weeks Dye Works as well as DMC, and not all the colors are called for. And I think I'm going to turn it into a little pillow. I think. On the 21st of October, I finished my fourth and so far last spike project. And I'll put a picture in here. I have changed the finish of it since you saw it in my Flosstube, I think. I have removed the little stitched frame, and then I put it in a frame with a passepartout in it, and I like it way better now. It's on 25 count Lugana vintage mocha, and I used the Mrs. Cedar silk called Darling. And you might wonder and say, what does this have to do with spike? I mean, you can see it's a poem. I call it the Bloody Awful Poetry. It's supposedly written by William Pratt in sometime around 1880. That is, and William Pratt is Spike before he was turned as a vampire. And it is bloody awful, but I really like it, so I decided to stitch it. So, yeah. So once you think I had enough projects, I had enough whips with all the stuff I was already doing, but then Stitchalonka came up with an idea to make an Advent start along every Advent Sunday of December. And of course, what did I do? Hey, I'm in! And all the patterns had to be kind of nerdy patterns. So I used that as an excuse to shop on Etsy. And the first project I finished was The Raven by New York Needleworks. And I really like it. I have always liked Edgar Allan Poe's poem, The Raven. You know, the raven saying, nevermore, nevermore. This one is on 16 count Ada, hand dyed by me. And I really like it. And I'm probably going to frame it. I think it will look good in the frame with the black border around. And luckily enough, luckily for me, there's still a lot of fabric left. You know, that's the problem when you hand dye your fabric yourself. Sometimes you succeed in making some fabric that looks fabulous, and then you don't have much of it. So I'm very lucky that I got some more of this one, because yeah, I don't know if I can make something like this again. Because when I dye my fabric, it's trial and error. So yeah, so this was the first one I finished. On December the 23rd, I finished my second Advent start along. Buffy. I call it the Buffy silhouette. It's from Dots and Spots shop on Etsy. And this I stitched on 16 count Ada Antares by Chromatic Alchemy. And sorry, I used DMC 310, and I actually think I used 2 threads. I actually think that the coverage is okay. And then for the white, I used Etoile Blanc. And I love the result. And this is definitely going to be framed and put up on my wall. So, and I love it on this red background. Okay, on the last day of the year, on December 31st, I finished the Doctor Who Torchwood, which was also one of my Advent start-alongs, and I love the way it turned out. And I'm probably going to frame this one as well. This is also from the Dots and Spots shop on Etsy, where I also got my Buffy pattern. So we have almost come to an end, but I have decided that my temperature tree, I will also say, is a finish of 2021. I couldn't finish it until the 1st of January because I needed the weather data. But still, I think it's a finish for 2021. And here it is. I finished it on time. And I love the way it looks. I think this is a fabulous pattern by Stitching Mommy. I did it on 14 count light blue Aida. And I'm going to frame it. I think I very soon have to buy a lot of frames for all the stuff I need to frame. But I really like this one. I'm doing another temperature style this year. It's not a style, a temperature, not a tree, but with houses. I'm going to show you in my Flosstube, which I'm going to record after I'm done recording this finished parade. I don't know when I'm going to edit that one, because this finished parade will take a lot of editing, because I'm doing it in bilingual, so I have to make 2 versions of this finished parade, and that will probably take quite a long time to do that, because I want it to be as close to perfect as possible. Okay, so but this was my finished parade of 2021. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to make my whip parade in July, in the month of July, because I have summer holiday there. And I thought that in the future I will do my finished parade in January and then my whip parade in July. Okay, so I hope to see you again for my normal floss tubes. Take care. Bye.